We're now joined by Peadar Toibín at the Flexibus Local Link Louth Meath Fingal Transport Celebration Day in Simonstown GAA. A fantastic day. Peadar, you would meet with a lot of your constituents here at this fantastic event in Simonstown.
Yeah, I wanted to come along to this event in Simonstown today to give my support to Flexibus, to be honest. I think Flexibus is a fantastic organisation that provides, really good transport solutions to people living all over County Meath. And I would have a lot of experience of people who live in rural Ireland, especially small villages and towns, and not so small villages and towns, who don't have proper transport links whatsoever. There are ribbons of towns where maybe one bus rolls in and one in the morning and one bus rolls out in the morning. And people find it very hard to have sustainable lives in those towns and villages without transportation links. And I will be a strong believer as well that human connectivity is more important than any other, even broadband connectivity, let's say. And that can only be achieved if people have access to transportation links. And, I think I want to commend Flexibus with regards to the services that it provides. I believe that people who need services around the country should be contacting Flexibus. And I also think that Shane Ross needs to provide more money and flexibility to Flexibus in how they actually function around the country as well.
But of course, politics does have a bearing in it, but as part of the National Transport Authority plan to roll out rural broadband, would you see from a political point of view that that's a major asset when you're going to constituent stores looking for votes and everything? You would obviously see that as a major asset, as a greater infrastructure within your area.
Well, first of all, in my view, there has been really unbalanced spatial development in this country for the last number of years. So in other words, Dublin is overheating. We're nearly become a city-state with regards how big Dublin is. Dublin is an outlier in European terms with regards how big it is compared to the rest of the country. And yet we have small towns and villages who are really struggling currently. And the reason for that is because I think that the government has turned its back on much of rural Ireland. So, we see post offices closing to beat the band at the moment. We see Garda stations being closed. Obviously, then that has a knock-on effect to whatever shops are left and the pubs are left, etc. And, if there isn't transportation, then we see people not being able to live in those towns. I've met, women who work in Dublin and come from small villages, and they get the bus at maybe 7:15 every morning, and they're back at maybe 8:30 that night, and they're working a 9 to 5. So their day is stretched by about 60% because of the really poor transport links there is there. I know heaps of school children who can't get from reasonable sized villages into their local town to attend school, which means one of the parents has to stop working to be able to ferry them back and forth every day, which obviously reduces the workforce and reduces the income of those families. And all I believe is that we should have a balanced spatial development. To do that, you need to say to people living in areas, we will provide the necessary services for your town or village to function in the future.
Of course, you're a man of conscience and you're in the news because of it. So, but you're obviously getting feedback from your people and you're just reflecting that. So maybe you'd like to say a few words about it.
Yeah, listen, it's a very difficult topic. The issue of abortion obviously splits and divides people like no other issue. Obviously, I'm a member of the party for Sinn Féin for 21 years, and in that 21 years, I poured all my energy into it. My major objectives have always been, economic justice for people, so that people can live properly, and also Irish unity as well. With this particular issue at the moment, there's at least a third of the population who opposed the repeal of the 8th. They say there's about 20% of the population who voted yes, but don't agree with Simon Harris's bill because it allows for abortion on demand. And in that scenario, I think those people should have a voice in Leinster House. If you don't give significant minorities a voice in the democratic institutions of the state, it creates frustration and pushes those people to the edges, politically speaking. And I don't think that's particularly healthy. I think, listen, my objective is to keep working for the people of Meath. Meath, again, and this relates to Flexibus, Meath is actually at the bottom of every single investment criteria that exists in the state. We have the lowest number of Gardai in the country per capita. Our local authority has the lowest investment per capita in the state. With regards to mental health services, with the lowest investment in the state. With regards to children's services, the lowest investment in the state. Housing, we have the lowest per capita investment in the state. And we need to make sure that Meath has strong representation, and I intend to do that over the next number of months.
And so you would feel that apart from a few key issues like today where you're meeting all your constituents and, in Simonstown, you feel that there are quite a few other areas that should be brought to the top of the political agenda before the next general election?
Yeah, I'm really serious about the issue of Meath, and people don't realise this. People often from the rest of the country think Meath, oh, big farmers, they're all right, they do well for themselves, etc. But the truth is very, very different. And the truth of the matter is we experience really high rent prices, really high house prices, and yet the social infrastructure that should be around people to make life better and healthier for them is not being invested in Meath. And, you know, I think there are 6 TDs and there's 1 senator in County Meath. Most of them are obviously from the government. And they have a real opportunity with their hands on the levers in Cabinet to actually make a significant difference with regards to the level of investment is Meath. I don't want any more money than any other county. I'm not asking for that at all. All I'm saying is that we should get our fair share of, even if you take IDA jobs, investment or Enterprise Ireland jobs, we get this, the clippings of tin, the scraps off the cabinet table, and Meath people are entitled to better than that. And you know, it's really it's important that Meath people don't let the ministers off the hook on this issue, because if they don't provide now, they may never get another chance to make sure that we get, you know, proper investment in this county. And that investment also includes transportation investment, because transportation is one of those really important social and economic goods. If it's not there, it has a radical effect on people and how they can actually live and earn a living. If it is there, you can actually see areas thrive and grow and prosper.
Well, that's it from Peadar Toibín's point of view. From a very, there's I think over 400 people here in Simonstown, and so a fantastic day for the people that are able to avail of it. So Peadar, thanks for meeting up with us on Irishwebtv and going through a few of the topical issues that's in the headlines at the moment. Peadar Toibín, thank you very much.
Good meeting, Margaret.